Living within driving distance of trout water is an absolute privilege. Being able to clock out after a crummy day of work and hit the water is nothing short of a treat. This is going to be a cheeky evening session on an unfamiliar section of a familiar river here in eastern Idaho. The wind was howling and the clouds were swirling on a rather strange evening here on the east side. This was by no means my first option of the night. In fact, because of a wrong turn and miscalculated GPS points, I was on the wrong side of the river with little to no knowledge of this section. The odds of this going wrong were very high, but it was too late in the day to go any further and the rods were already rigged up. So, as I laced up, I figured worst case scenario, I get skunked and I fully realize I am an idiot. But best case scenario, I find some fish and I can stave off those thoughts of dumbassery for a few more days. So, with my fingers crossed, I started down the old access road towards the river. Now, compared to most, this hike down, it was kind of a breeze. The grade was sharp, but with urgency and a strong wind at my back, I could glide past the gravel road grasshoppers with ease on my descent into the canyon. And menacing clouds were hanging well within striking distance, and I was fairly certain their looming would turn to booming as the night carried on. But as I turned the corner, the wind had shifted a bit and thoughts of rain slid to the back burner as I started my own slide towards the sound of water. Looking back, there must have been an easier way to get down. Plus, with what had happened a few weeks prior, I wasn't exactly in love with this situation I found myself in. But by some act of magic, I didn't plummet to my death. Not today. A little dirt in the mouth and eyes was the only thing to show for my efforts.
Okay, I can at least work with this.
Can't say I had high hopes for this session, but I'm sure glad I came down. Let's get this guy back, and I've got two quick things to tell you. Okay, first and foremost, I want to say I'm on a very different section than I've been fishing this entire trip. It's a little bit more industrial, I would say. The dam is right up there. There's a bunch of power lines and everything, but the road's closed, so no one's really been down here. It's kind of a risk and reward, I suppose. It's an easy hike down. But the second thing I wanted to say is that was our first fish on this brand new rod. I know, I've been getting a lot of rods lately, but they're necessary. Necessary. This is actually a 9'8" weight. This is a big old boy. Specifically for a bull trout trip coming up. I wanted to get it out, get it tested, but you know the deal. We've got a little plastic layer that needs to come off, and we need to christen this thing into our arsenal, so let's get on it. I cannot tell you how good it felt that our gamble had paid off and the threat of the skunk was no longer looming. Hiking up to the next hole, it seemed like this section would continue to deliver. With the way this pool tailed out, the dry fly rod was beckoning me to give it a go. One solid cast with the Chubby resulted in my first cutthroat of the night, and I mean, this little cutty was absolutely gorgeous. The orange slash and the speckles following down its side never get old, and he shot off with some attitude, and my evening had already been more than made. Those nods of approval were very much necessary with this fish right here. With healthy shoulders and a rather dark color pattern throughout, you could tell This fish sat deep in the pocket just waiting for a silly hopper to make a fatal mistake. But as that nice fish swam back into the deep green, I took a second look around at my surroundings. Not being local to an area can always be tough because conditions vary wildly in a given year. This was my one and only snapshot of this section of the river, and it would seem as though this has seen a massive decrease in flows. The high water mark on the basalt boulders is a dead giveaway of how deep and fast this river must flow during certain times of the year. With more condensed fish hiding in holes, I was feeling good about flinging the hopper a bit more, and I will take this opportunity to preach the importance of good hook set patience, or just having a bit of dumb luck on your side.
Oh.
Here I am dinking around and we got a fish.
Thank you, sir.
Looks like someone wasn't having a good night. We'll make sure to pack this out and bring it along with us. Oh! There we go. Yeah, baby. That's what I was looking for. Oh no, he got off! Oh, that was a big fish! Oh, rats. I could see him by this rock and I lift up my stonefly and he yonked it. That feels like a nice fish. All right, Chubby is out. There we go. This is one chunky bow, but I think he's ready to get back. Let's send him. It may be a little silly and pretty obvious to say, but I absolutely love fishing chubbies. They're probably one of my favorite dry fly patterns here in the West, just because of their versatility. I like to fish really small chubbies, so they can be small hoppers, big ants, bees, I mean any sort of bug out here. And yeah, this is the one fly that I will actually go out of my way to go to a fly shop and get. I don't really like to go into fly shops much, but out here, small chubbies, they're a hot commodity, so gotta pick up a few. So yeah, the session's going a lot better than I thought, and I think we should keep heading on upstream, seeing what we can't get. Ooh, don't fall off the rock. Land the fish, don't fall off the rock. Come on now. Now you are beautiful, sir. Look at you. Man, they aren't giving the chubby any breaks here. Oh, come on. Come on. There you go. You're off. See you, buddy. Man, they're just inhaling these chubbies. Good lord. Okay. That fish swam back strong and found asylum once again in its bouldery home. Now, even though the fish were still being extremely aggressive with most anything I threw out, I could tell my day was coming to a swift conclusion. The sun was now well below the canyon walls and darkness was closing in. Knowing the dam wasn't all that far away gave me confidence as I battled the basalt boulders. These lava rocks remind me a lot of the Rio Grande back in New Mexico, and I remember slow and steady is required when slip sliding upstream. And I will say, I put a few casts in along the way, but I was very surprised that I found my last fish of the evening. I was convinced that that last rainbow was all she wrote, but this last little cutty was very much welcomed, and once it slid back, then I knew the evening was over. Doubling back to the road, I didn't realize it at the time, but this was going to be my last solo weeknight session here in eastern Idaho. I can't understate how lucky I was to have the Teton watershed and countless others like it all within an hour or so of where I was living. It's sad to think that this was all going to be over, but there were bigger trips on the horizon, and these small memories, they were now captured forever. Well, here we are, folks. The day is ending, and if you're seeing this, that means well, I must have made it out alive, and I'm editing the video right now. Very meta, but for real, folks. I feel like a broken record here saying this, but I mean it every single time, from my heart to the black box to wherever you are watching this, viewing this, whatever. Thank you so very much. And again, this feels weird. I hope it emotes through. But the fact that there's folks out there who watch these videos all the way through, who comment, who like, who share, who are just so involved in this community is so amazing. Because again, the whole goal with this is to travel and capture memories for me. It's kind of selfish if I'm being honest, but I like to post these to, you know, let my parents and family and friends know what the heck I'm doing, and it's fun to learn and grow a new skill. So I've got fly fishing, now I've got storytelling, but in that, posting it to a public platform like YouTube, this weird, organic, it's almost like a community or a colony of mushrooms have just started to grow and just then explode. I mean, the community around fly season is truly amazing, and I've met a lot of great friends. Probably some of you out there watching, it's like, hey, what's up? But it's so incredible, and your guys' support really pushes this channel and it makes it grow, which is, again, insane to think that it's growing as fast as it is. So I don't want to sound tired, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I mean it every single time with the same fervor. Thank you. So folks, wherever you find yourself, be it in some random canyon here in the great state of Idaho or in your backyard, I sure hope you keep those feet in the water. And until next time, tight lines.